EC3 walking out on Dillinger. 1% from EC3. I think we just witnessed the end of Perfect. Jay Lethal putting out a challenge there for The Miz. Here lies the career of Drago, ended by a ruthless NXT champion. Hello everyone and welcome. This is NXT. Tonight promises to be a big night for the NXT brand. We are of course on our way to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and tonight we will determine who will face the Machine, Brian Cage, for the NXT Championship. A big fatal four-way battle royal to come your way in the main event. Mike Canellis, The Miz, Jay Lethal, and the man who challenged for the title at Chicago, Jeff Cobb. The winner faces Cage at Brooklyn. It is going to be a huge main event. Certainly exciting to hear from the now former NXT Global Champion Lio Rush, who wants his hands back on Hideo Itami and the NXT Global Championship as well. Interesting way to kick us off there on NXT, but now we move in for our first contest of the evening. Kalisto against TJP here, one-on-one with one another to get us underway for this in-ring action here tonight. You saw at the start of the evening there was a lot to talk about coming out of last week's NXT, the end of Perfect. From the surface of it all, the assault on Ty Dillinger by EC3. EC3 in action here tonight. So we can hope to get an explanation from him. We were there, of course, being Hope. And on top of that, we've got some big matches to come our way as the future of this universe, the future talents of this universe, make their names felt. And of course that big time main event later on this evening. Who will face the Machine at TakeOver Brooklyn? There'll be a way to find out the answer to that one at the end of this evening. Right now to start things off, Kalisto with a big package powerbomb there on TJP, driving him into the mat. So much aggression in that move. And Kalisto right now just controlling this contest more or less. Flurry of strikes there as Kalisto looks for his first singles win in a long time. Spent the last recent memory really competing in tag team matches, so it's nice to see Kalisto back in singles action. Whether or not he'll pick up the win in this one, well, we'll find out in just a moment. TJP going to be a tough competitor for him as well. He's been having a good run as of late since coming down to NXT. Hasn't been the most spectacular, but had some decent matches and some victories to go along with it. Caught him with that spinning heel kick though. Kalisto now goes up to the top rope. What could we see here? 450, my goodness! Big time move from Kalisto. Now, from the second rope, comes down with a Phoenix Splash. The agility to pull off something like that, but the annoyance that must reside within him for the knowledge that he only gets a 1 count from it. Double unduck suplex. This time, TJP gets it. First time of asking. Kalisto brought out the reversal. TJP in now. Big suplex attempt. No brainbuster, just dumping him on his head. Absolutely no remorse there from TJP as he beats down now on Kalisto. Breaking the face really in the eyes of Kalisto with that, with those boots into the face. Nice Hurricanrana from Kalisto there. Rolls through and kicks him in the side of the head. Rolling through in more ways than one on that one. Kalisto now putting together the pieces it's time to put together. An awful lot of offense that TJP cannot withstand right now. Kalisto calling for it, looking to close out, looking to get victory here over TJP. Salida del Sol. Cover from Kalisto. It's over. Victory for Kalisto. TJP just could not put the goods together. Kalisto could, and it brought him victory. For the first time in a long time, he can enjoy the sweet taste of victory on NXT. Congratulations to him on that one. Well-earned victory. Controlled the match. Not much more can be said about that. Fun way to get us underway here on NXT, but plenty more good action to come our way this evening. Starting things off with a Kalisto win. Now coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, action in the women's division. Last week I discussed that, Shayna Baszler really ahead of the curve right now, ahead of the field as she looks to get her hands on Io Shirai in the NXT Women's Championship. Well, here tonight, maybe, just maybe, this woman will try and stake her claim as a potential second place in the division. Candice LeRae, who has been on fire since she arrived, has really been unstoppable in many ways. In rather surprising ways, it must be said. But here tonight, she looks for the victory here over Billie Kay, who will, of course, have Peyton Royce by her side. The Iconics looking to regain some much-needed confidence, having not had some for the longest period of time now. And we will see how that one will go as these two women are prepared to collide with one another. It's been a long time since Billie Kay lost challenge for the NXT Women's Championship, about a year and a half, I think. And she took on Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship. Came out on the losing side of things, but she does have a former NXT Women's Champion with her in Peyton Royce, albeit maybe the shortest reigning NXT Women's Champion. I'm not too certain. What I do know is that she is coming towards the ring alongside Kay right now, ready for this one, ready to see how things will go here. I mean, you'd look at their attires as they come towards the ring and you'd swear that it's actually Peyton Royce who's in action, not Billie Kay, but yep. It will be Kay here to compete. We know that Kay can have some solid competitiveness within her. She can put together an incredibly solid match. She can put together some big wins. She does have a win over Kairi Sane in the past, when she was NXT Women's Champion as well. But that was very many moons ago. So, and the talent's getting better and better around here, and Candice LeRae is a fine showing of that as well, as she has proven in all of her contests on NXT thus far, and she'll look to prove again here with another win under her belt here tonight to try and put herself in the talking maybe alongside Shayna Baszler for a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. All night suplex there from Kay. Incredible bridge. She goes into the cover here, trying to put her away early on. It's not happening there, though. Early win she seeked out. Not going to get it, but she is unloading away here. It strikes. Drop kick takes LeRae off her feet there. Now we wait to see what will happen here. Hard forearm in the face. Rocked a little bit there was LeRae. Flying forearm in the corner will take her off her feet. Good start for Billie Kay in this one thus far. Candice LeRae, they're looking to put an end to it. Flip power bomb. Code red. Drove her into the mat. She made it look easy as well, did Candice LeRae. She works over the leg now. Billie Kay there. Long legs of Kay. Certainly does use her legs to her advantage as she connects with moves within this contest. This time to grab there, but she'll go right back to it and try again here on Candice LeRae. LeRae, though, had it read that the second time of asking. Wheelbarrow stunner there. Nice move indeed. Will it be enough to claim victory here for Candice LeRae? Kick out early on. Nice move. Well, really nice move, it has to be said. But oh, Billie Kay with a hard smack in the face right then and there. And now stretching Candice LeRae out, using those ropes. Boot in the back, bending the spine in the opposite direction. They're bending the arms back to go along with it. Nothing fancy, well, nothing nice about that one. That's for certain. LeRae, though, able to bounce back here. Look out. Has her now, and leg drop connects. Look out, look out. Peyton Royce getting involved, though. Trying to cause a distraction. Billie Kay comes running up from behind. Russian leg sweep. Brings the leg down. And the body down with it across Candice LeRae's chest. Can only get a 1 count there. LeRae feeling the impact of that one. A second reverse DDT from Billie Kay. Royce gave her an opening. And Kay looking to capitalize on it right here and now. Forearm in the face. Counter made by LeRae. Look out now, Candice LeRae. Whoa, gory bomb! And into the cover she goes, seeking our victory here. Nice gory bomb. Is it enough to put away Billie Kay? Not quite, but a good 2 count. Billie Kay's been putting up a decent fight so far, has to be said. She's testing Candice LeRae here. And LeRae is really having to endure quite a lot of punishment if she wants to come out with the victory here. Nice counter made there. Simple but effective. Look out. Staggering her back to the turnbuckle now. Look at these flurry of strikes from LeRae. Forearms and stomping into the chest as well of Billie Kay. Aggressive nature there from Candice LeRae. Lion salt. She connects with that. And again, Royce will try and get involved here. Trying to create an opening. For Billie Kay here. LeRae falling for the trap. Kay from behind, rolling her up. Will this be enough here? Could Billie Kay steal a win? Oh, LeRae able to kick out early enough. Billie Kay can't capitalize. Hurricanrana takes down. Billie Kay right now. LeRae in position, middle of the ring. Miss Gargano escape. Miss Gargano escape is locked in. Will it be enough here? Yes, it will. LeRae, your winner by submission. Husband and wife sharing the same move and the same result that they both celebrated recently. Victory for both. Victory for Candice LeRae. And a talking point in the title division. Well, we have certainly a big win there for Candice LeRae. Will she be getting herself in the talking point, though, for the NXT Women's Championship? I would argue she probably has a reason to say that she should be in it. She certainly has a good rack of wins under her belt. She certainly has been chalking them up as of late. And so maybe that'll be something to focus on for the NXT General Manager Logan Wayne heading into Brooklyn right now, though, ladies and gentlemen. Feel the power of positivity surging through you. Xavier Woods going to be in singles action up next against Josh Woods. Yes, the Woods are facing one another one-on-one right now. We, of course, know that Josh Woods was supposed to be in action last week against Drago in what was Drago's farewell match in this universe, but ended up not being the case as along came Brian Cage, charged his way out, assaulted Drago, laid him out in the ring with a pop-up powerbomb through a table, and ended things right then and there for Drago and for the contest. Coming up right now, though, this is going to be a good test for Xavier Woods. I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll break out here, what he'll bring to the table as this contest will continue on. And the same goes for Josh Woods as well. I want to see what these two guys can put together. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there will be no machine theme. We're good. I mean, he's done it 2 weeks in a row. There could have been nothing stopping him doing it a third time, but it's not the case. Here comes Josh Woods. One of the brightest prospects, I have to say, that NXT has to offer, if you ask me. He hasn't really brought his package together yet. He hasn't really locked in on everything. We've seen it in contests. I think when he took on Ishii and Brody King, they were really signs of it. But the guy has the developments there. He has it in him. He has shown what he's able to connect together. And all it really is, it's just learning. It's just building confidence. It's just going from strength to strength and eventually using it to put together huge matches and with it, of course, huge wins. And I think it's there for Josh Woods. You know, I did say that I was talking last week about title contenders for the NXT title. And I think Woods is, I think he would be a strong contender right now, honestly, in the Global Championship division. I know Leo Rush at the start of the evening says that he wants his hands back on that title, but tonight it's about Josh Woods. Right now it's about Josh Woods And we'll see what will be done about Lio Rush and his desire for that NXT Global Championship. Again, getting ready here between the two men with the same surname. I don't know how many there are on NXT with that, but there you go. Ready to go here. Huge clothesline from Josh Woods there as he took down Xavier Woods with ease. That's going to be Woods' calling in this contest. Josh Woods now. His power advantage. Of course, the grappling as well. 4-time All-American, I believe he is. All-American badass, that's what he definitely is. Josh Woods now, Irish whip off the rope, and again, using the strength. That clothesline has been, within his matches, he finds different ways to connect with it. He'll come charging in, he'll just hit it standing, he'll force you to come running at him to hit it. That clothesline is really a strong asset to the arsenal of Josh Woods in these matches. Whenever I see it, I know it's going to result in problems for his opponent. Woods gonna take a risk here, crossbody, but Josh Woods was standing looking at it for the longest time. He could have walked out of the way a long time before that. And look out now by the throat. No, up in the air, gorilla press, spine buster. Phenomenal strike there by Josh Woods. Will it result in victory for him? Cover is made, kick out early on. Trading chops in the chest now, Xavier Woods. Oh, single knee face buster takes Josh Woods right off his feet there. Nothing he could do to stop it. Woods turning things around and maybe finding an opening for himself in this contest here. Good shots by Xavier Woods. Clothesline of his own takes Josh off his feet. Woods now onto the second turnbuckle, looking to fly here. Woods, I would argue, a bit too far across the ring for him, though, to connect with. Xavier Woods aware of that one, sends him into the turnbuckle instead. What could we see from Xavier Woods? Nothing. Josh Woods able to put the brakes on it there. Oh, what a nice strike of forearms there. Good combination. Covers made. Looking to put him away. Kick out. Xavier Woods. Oh, caught him with that uppercut. Fair play to Woods. When he's finding his openings, he's putting together, he's stringing together some really solid offense that Josh Woods just cannot combat, really. And I think this is a talking point about Josh, is he can't put his package together. He has good offense, but his defense is lacking. It always feels like when Woods is getting beaten up, he's getting beaten up for a long time. And that's something that he needs to turn around if he wants to be, you know, competitive enough to defeat the likes of a Tomohiro Ishii, a Jeff Cobb, a Brian Cage, even the likes of a Jay Lethal. That's not meant as a dig at Lethal at all, but I mean like in terms of size. You know, Lethal isn't as big as those three guys. He's absolutely as talented, in fact, more talented than some of them. But when he's on defense, Josh Woods just does not have it in him to be able to counter out of it quick enough. It's like he just sits there and takes the punishment for a while. It's not a good game set to have in your matches. Big clothesline once again, though, got a 2 count off it. Woods comes up with a counter there, chop in the chest. That forearm stunned him, as did that shot there. Xavier Woods starting to put together some quick moves now. What could we see from Woods here? Wait a minute, has the arm, lost in the woods! Lost in the woods from Xavier Woods there, no honor roll this time. Boot down on the side of the face, down in the cheekbones. Cover made by Woods for a big win over Josh Woods here. Oh! Big kick out, 2 3/4 it had to have been on that one. Woods looks for a diving fist drop. Josh able to move out of the way of it. Feeling confident, Xavier Woods not interested in him letting express his confidence, and Josh Woods really shouldn't be expressing it either. He is in trouble, but he comes back. Big flying clothesline, atomic drop. Leg drops down on the gut, and a drop kick follows up. Great flurry of strikes there by Josh Woods. What else can he do right now? On the cusp of defeat, a moment ago, takes him down, full mount, open-handed, palm strikes, the All-American badass able to execute it as good as anyone else. Calling Woods up to his feet now. And a huge discus clothesline. Woods couldn't find his bearings And that is an opening for Josh Woods and then some. He'll get himself in position. Look out with an arm and a leg. Stretching away at Xavier Woods now. Look at this hold. Woods' body being stretched, being agonized, and he taps out. Josh Woods was on the brink of defeat. Comes back and seals a big win. A good comeback win, but one that should have never really been a comeback win. It should have been a win from the very start for Woods, in all honesty. At least he does seal the win. Maybe I'm not giving Xavier Woods good enough credit because he did fight hard in that contest. Victory for Josh Woods, a very competitive match between the two. Woods still able to put together bits and pieces necessary, but improvement still needed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last week we saw it on ECW. You saw it at the start of the evening as well. The effective end of Perfect, courtesy of EC3. And tonight, it is EC3's job not to explain himself, it would seem. EC3 has not said a word, but instead he'll go one-on-one against the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. Always nice to see Gresham in action as well. With guys like Josh Woods, Brody King, and Candice LeRae, of course, having made their arrival at the same time as Jonathan Gresham. It's great to see Gresham in action. He brings something different to the table. You know, Josh Woods has that power advantage within him, whereas Jonathan Gresham is just a guy who is just about the grappling, kind of like Xavier Jr. is. Last time we did see Gresham, though, was 2 weeks ago when he was laid out in the ring by Brian Cage. Doesn't seem as if we're getting a repeat to that tonight, but what we are getting is perhaps the strongest talking point coming out of NXT last week. 2 weeks ago, he didn't show up by his tag team partner's side. Last week, he walked out on him and then laid him out after the bell with a 1%er in the ring. EC3 stands alone. Do we know why? No. No, we don't. What we do know is that EC3 is in action here tonight, and he is going to look to prove why he left Ty Dillinger behind, why he turned his back on him, why he laid him out in the ring and went on his own way, why he did what he did last week on NXT. And it is an important talking point because it just came out of the blue. Yes, they weren't exactly putting together loads of wins, but it wasn't as if they were, you know, dead in the water as a team. They absolutely could still produce victories. They absolutely could still produce great tag team showings. It's not as if they were ever out of the talking for anything at any given point. But EC3 eventually just seemed to decide that he had had enough, turned his back on him, and laid him out in that ring. It was a huge surprise to bear witness to. And yeah, I really don't know. I don't know why EC3 did it. We would all love to know the answer. But even though it's been a week, EC3 has said nothing. And even now out here tonight, the Hammerstein Ballroom, not the most positive of receptions for a guy who they were usually quite positive towards cheering for. That's not the case here. Not anymore. But now we await to see what EC3 will do in this ring. It is a competitive opponent he's got. Jonathan Gresham is a highly gifted athlete, so it's not like he's going to have to go. It's not like he's got an easy contest in front of him either. Certainly not the case. Ready to go here in this one, though. Jonathan Gresham, EC3 one-on-one. Can EC3 prove that his decision to lay out Ty Dillinger in the ring after he had walked out on him, was it the right one? We'll find out in just a moment's time. Gresham coming out of the gates. Quick kicks to take down EC3. Folks, don't forget, coming up next, Fatal 4-Way Battle Royal. The winner will face Brian Cage for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam. 4 incredible competitors within that ring and a chance of a Chicago rematch as well if Jeff Cobb takes the win. I saw last week people saying they wanted Cobb and Cage too. Trust me, I think you could put me in that boat, but there is a talking point about Jeff Cobb that I will discuss later on this evening. Right now, though, look at the strength of Gresham there as he makes EC3 pay for getting a little bit cocky and perching himself up on that second rope and expressing his ego. Gresham now firing up here, looking for a suplex. No, EC3 puts the knee in the head, stops it, leapt up and drove the head. of Gresham into the mat. Elbow drop in the chest now. Cover made by EC3 here. Looking to put away Jonathan Gresham. Can he? No. Kick out at 1. Back on the gut now. Here we go. What will happen here from EC3? Dumping Gresham down on that top rope rib first. I do wonder right now, is Ty Dillinger watching on? Is Ty Dillinger in the building this evening? Does he want to get his hands on EC3 right now, or is he somewhere else? You know, is he not here this evening maybe? There's every chance that that is the case, but the reality is that what happened last week was incredibly just... I just didn't think that EC3 would do it. I really didn't. I had hoped that there was just problems, because even though it's an egotistical name and an egotistical team, I liked them. I liked Perfect. But it was just all put to bed in the blink of an eye. That was really just kind of shocking to see, in all fairness. Gresham right now, the lookout. In again with that Samoan drop. Talking a lot about the fallout of Perfect, really, but not giving Gresham enough credit here. He's putting together a strong contest right now. Look at this. Has the legs locked. Reverse figure 4. Reverse figure 4 by Gresham. How he was able to lock that in from that position, I won't know. Incredible mat wrestling from Gresham. Breaking out his strongest asset. And that is why EC3 is struggling to break this hold right now. Slips his way out of it just barely. Gresham, though, working well and keeping the offense going. This is what makes Gresham so dangerous. Don't let his size fool you. He is an incredibly dangerous athlete. Down on the arm there. See what will happen now. Uh-oh, abdominal stretch applied here. Stretching the body of EC3. Devastating hold by Gresham. Abdominal stretch doing damage. Could EC3 force himself to tap out here? Could it be sweet relief for Ty Dillinger through Jonathan Gresham? Not happening. The strength of EC3 gets him out of that hold. Out now in the corner goes Jonathan Gresham. Oh, and now the aggression of EC3 just shining through, stomping away repeatedly on Gresham, who seemed so close to victory there. Sent into the turnbuckle, bounces out of it, and into the arms of EC3. 1%! All it takes, one little opening, and it's over. The 1%er connects. The cover is made. And EC3 claims a big win. We may not know why, but there's certainly no denying that EC3 is still as good as ever within this ring. Victory made for that man right there. How will it go for him in the future? What will Ty Dillinger say? What will Ty Dillinger do in response to last week's actions? We await to find out. But what we know right now, EC3 as good as ever. Maybe only one man can hold the mantelpiece of Perfect, and that is the top 1%, EC3. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time though. Coming up next, our main event of the evening, who will face Brian Cage for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn? Mike Kanellis, Jay Lethal, The Miz, or Jeff Cobb? It's our main event, and it is up next. First out, here comes The Miz. We saw last week on NXT, once the match was done, once Jay Lethal had been the first man in this universe to defeat Brody King, he certainly had a lot to say about the actions of The Miz on NXT. Certainly had plenty to say about him on being on this brand and what he really means to Jay Lethal, in the nicest way of putting it. And the honest response is nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no other way of saying it. Jay Lethal had nothing nice to say about The Miz, but there's no ignoring the fact The Miz here, given a big opportunity, he said 2 weeks ago on NXT that he was here to make this brand awesome, and he is going to start that by claiming victory here tonight, and maybe by being the first in line, or the next in line rather, the NXT Championship. It's going to be a tough contest All of the guys in this one, everyone wants it. Everyone wants to be the one to take on Cage. Everyone wants to be the one to beat Cage. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I don't think one is enough. I don't think one guy is enough to bring down Brian Cage. I mean, Jeff Cobb couldn't do it. And Jeff, if there was anyone who could have done it on their own, it would have been Jeff Cobb. But no, he was beaten. And even though I look at the caliber of talent in this ring, even though Jeff Cobb will be back in this ring in a moment's time, I don't think Cobb can do it. I don't think Miz can do it. I don't think Canellis can do it. Lethal is perhaps the best wrestler on this show. And I don't think he can do it either. I think it has to be a multi-man process to bring the machine down. Logan Wayne sees otherwise, clearly, but that's just my viewpoint on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am dead wrong. Maybe tonight, Mike Kanellis could win this, go on to Brooklyn and show why he was ECW champion for 235 days or whatever the number is, and win the NXT championship. Shock everyone, beat the machine, be the first man to beat him, and claim that NXT championship as his own. I do know right now is though that Lethal is in the ring here, and Miz looking on from outside of the ring. He certainly will have plenty to say, plenty to express in this contest. Staring down Lethal there as he stands in the ring and awaits the arrival of the former NXT champion, ECW champion, the former Mr. Money in the Bank, Mike Kanellis, coming towards the ring. Since he came back from injury, he's been on a tear as well, beating everyone left, right and center. Kanellis has been recovering his form, has been regaining what made him the ECW champion, what made him the leader of the New World Order, what made him such a incredible name within this universe at one point, and he's looking to reclaim that all here tonight and here at Brooklyn. Kanellis could absolutely do it, there's no arguing it. We know he has that wrestling ability within him for how long he was an ECW champion for. Whether or not he'll be able to hold on to it, though, whether or not he'll be able to regain it, actually, is a better way of saying. Jay Lethal's regained it. I'd argue Kanellis is regaining it. Tonight is time to prove it. But I think the Hammerstein Ballroom is about to have a warm welcome for a guy who tore the house down with a machine at TakeOver Brooklyn. And that is none other than Jeff Cobb. Cobb and Cage, I mean, what can you say? What a fight it was. What a war they went to for victory. They tore each other apart, all for the NXT championship. But in the end, it wasn't enough. In the end, it was victory for for Brian Cage. Cobb was beaten, and I said in the EC3 match about how there was a little bit of worriment about Jeff Cobb, and this is why. Cobb, it may well have been a month since NXT TakeOver Chicago, but Cobb was hurt and hurt bad in that match. There are rumors circulating backstage that he came back too soon for this match. And that could be a worry for Cobb. That could put him in trouble here in this one. If he's back too soon, say he got, I don't know, say he got a bad concussion in that contest. Absolutely plausible. Maybe a problem with all the blood that he lost in that match. Maybe a broken bone or two. If he's rushing himself back in the ring, that could be a problem. Especially when he was at 100% and he couldn't beat Brian Cage as well. So we'll see, we'll see. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our main event of the evening up right now. Who will face Brian Cage for the NXT Championship? Strap yourselves in and find out. Fatal 4-way, but it's a battle royal. You go over the top rope, both feet hit the floor, you are eliminated. Last man standing in the ring is the #1 contender to the NXT Championship. So let's see what'll happen here. We've got Lethal and Canellis locking horns. We've got Cage and Cobb and Miz locking horns. Let's see what'll happen in this one. Canellis being sent to the turnbuckle by the Miz. Sorry, by Lethal. Wow, I'm getting my names all mixed up. Good shot in the face there by Jeff Cobb. Great to see him back in action. You could hear the response from the crowd as well. They were glad to see him as well. And why wouldn't we be? That was maybe the match of the year for NXT at Chicago. The way those two men tore one another apart for that title. Just a hoss match and then some. It was exceptional. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh, Miz. Miz just eliminated Jeff Cobb. Oh my goodness! I had worriment over if Cobb came back too soon, and the answer is yes, he did. Cobb eliminated that early. I can't believe it. And this crowd is in a bit of shock as well. Jeff Cobb eliminated in moments, essentially. The Miz really shoving it to Jay Lethal there as well. Lethal said he was overrated. He was irrelevant. And now, a huge elimination for The Miz over Jeff Cobb. We won't get Cage and Cobb 2, as heartbreaking as it is. But we will get a new #1 contender in just a moment's time. As this contest continues on, the it kicks coming in from The Miz now. He really wants to show that he belongs on NXT. Kicking away at Canellis there, goes right for Lethal at the first time of hoping, at the first time of seeing it open to charge at him. Lethal though, shin breaker, dragon screw. Cannot believe it though, we've lost Jeff Cobb in this contest, and that early on as well. Just really throws a wrench in the works for who can win this one. Kanellis in trouble. Miz though too infatuated with Jay Lethal, and Kanellis able to hope really that he can stay in this one as the beatdown continues on. Miz gonna look for the skull crushing finale. Kanellis comes in though and starts beating down on Lethal instead. These two, Kanellis and The Miz, locking horns. I can only imagine how proud Maria would be of her husband if he claimed victory here this evening. And the hope of going after Brian Cage and another title within this universe. Big suplex there. Miz now calling Canellis into his position. What could he look for here? Not going to be a skull-crushing finale, but a hugely impactful neck breaker will connect here. Lethal just walking past Miz. Miz will watch on. Canellis is dumped. Canellis out of here, and there are two remaining. The two men who had the most to talk about last week. Lethal was talking smack about Miz last week. Well, now he has to fight to prove his point. These are the two men left standing in this ring. These are the two men who will meet to close out this contest. One of these two men are going to take over Brooklyn. Who will face Brian Cage for the NXT Championship? Lethal or Miz? Lethal firing away here, got some good shots in right now. Miz putting up a stop to that one though, kicking the leg. Both men with an elimination to their name. Miz now has Lethal by the head here, walking him around, sending him into the turnbuckle. Could he look for an elimination in the corner here maybe? Socking away. Miz now. Oh, huge clothesline in the corner. Lethal in trouble. Miz has found his opening and he's pouncing on it now. DDT, no, oh. Neck breaker into an essentially into a reverse DDT there. Which one of these two men is it going to be? It's so close here, so tough to pick a winner between these two men. Miz would be able to put the ultimate gobstopper into the mouth of Jay Lethal to shut him up if he could win here this evening. To silence all the critics, to silence Jay Lethal as well. Lethal could be about to eat his words because The Miz could be on his way to Brooklyn. He could be on his way to face the Machine. Look out. Big time headbutt delivered there. Drives him down into the mat. Lethal, forearms, shots, striking away. These two men just engaging in a striking contest with one another right now. Both men taking the other, both men staggering them. Miz though, backing Lethal up in a dangerous position. Lethal incredibly close to those ropes. He doesn't have a response. Miz takes a step up. He'll go running in. Lethal will sidestep him. Jay Lethal wins. Jay Lethal's done it! By hook or by crook, Jay Lethal's going to Brooklyn! We have a #1 contender to the NXT Championship. Jay Lethal will face Brian Cage in Brooklyn for the NXT title. The best wrestler at NXT versus the Machine of NXT. Lethal has done it just What a win for Lethal. He has found his calling again. Oh my God! Backstage, Brian Cage on Canellis. The machine has lost it again. Weapon X! Weapon X to Kanellis! Lighting him out there! Oh my goodness! Here comes Logan Wayne! And Wayne putting the hammer down! Logan Wayne hereby declaring Brian Cage suspended from NXT! And the machine snapping, walking out, yeah! Lethal the number 1 contender, but Brian Cage has been suspended.